Hey everyone, this is Ganesha, and I finally did it. I read my very first classic novel. And the question now is, does this officially make me an intellectual, well-read and layered human being? Probably not. But what it did make me was confused, annoyed, wrecked, and completely obsessed. The book Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. And today I'm going to deep dive into this beautiful, painful mess that is unlike anything that I've ever read. Firstly, I would like to give some appreciation for this cover. I mean, look at it. It is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I was sold the minute I saw this cover. And whoever came up with the idea of writing the most important quotes from this book on the cover page, we should do this to more books. Now, a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about this book. And I think one of the major reasons for that is people think this is a love story. And right before I start talking anything about this book, I want to set the expectations right. This is not a romantic book. It is not a love story. It is far from it. And if you go in expecting a soft romance novel, you're going to be disappointed. What this book really explores is obsession, revenge, loneliness, trauma, and the other dark sides of human emotions, which we sometimes mistake for love. The whole thing is set out on the stormy, wild moors in northern England. Gothic, dramatic, and a little scary. Honestly, the whole thing feels like a film, with dark skies, windswept fields, and this constant sense of unease. The setting here isn't just a backdrop. It literally shapes everything that happens. The story itself is brought to us by Nellie, a housekeeper torn between two families who sits down to tell this complicated family saga. And she isn't a neutral narrator. She's opinionated, biased, sometimes a little messy, making the whole thing even more layered. And the two families at the heart of this novel, the Earnshaws and the Lintons. The Earnshaws are passionate, wild, and a little chaotic. The Lintons, on the other hand, are polished, refined, and proper. And when their completely opposite worlds collide, that's where all the drama begins. There's Heathcliff, our hero, the brooding outsider whose life gets tied up with the Earnshaws. There's Catherine Earnshaw, intense and magnetic, constantly torn between ambition and love. And then there are Edgar and Isabella, who find themselves pulled into this storm whether they want to be a part of it or not. I'm not going deep into the story or any of the characters because I really do not want to give any spoilers. Any little thing that I tell you about the story might actually turn out to be a spoiler, so I really want to avoid that. It's less of a straight romance and more of a gothic tangle of obsession, pride, and pain. Coming on to the characters, just oh my god. This book is full of people who are flawed, chaotic, and just endlessly fascinating. Don't expect anyone to be your comfort character here. They're all complicated, morally questionable, and sometimes just plain awful. But that's the brilliance of the story. You just can't stop thinking about these characters. Each and every one of them is written with so much precision and thought and layering. You'll be frustrated, you'll argue with them in your head, and yet you will find yourselves understanding them and eventually empathizing with them. Not all, but some, definitely. You know why this is the first classic novel I've ever managed to finish? I've started quite a few of them in the past, but classics typically have a hard and tough language to understand. And that is why I'd always used to get lost or lose interest midway. The writing here was hard to understand as well. The first few pages I was completely lost as to what was happening in the plot. I had to revisit a few lines and paragraphs every now and then to make sense of what is happening. But that was the beauty of Emily Bront's writing. It kept me hooked. It made me put the effort to read it again and understand what is actually going on. Her writing always felt lyrical, haunting, and intense. It was like every word and every sentence carried a storm within. At its core, Wuthering Heights as a novel isn't about romance or love, as I've mentioned quite a few times already. But it's about what happens when raw emotions like anger, frustration, revenge, control, and obsession take over. And the best part is the emotional heaviness of this book makes you feel each and every emotion. You cannot be passive here. This book forces you to feel pity, anger, heartbreak, confusion. It makes you question your own moral compass. The book explores how relationships can become mirrors for our own deepest flaws, how connection can turn into possession, how intensity can overwhelm tenderness. And that's what makes it unforgettable. It is not an aspirational book. It is messy, it is dark, it is raw and real to the point that it gets uncomfortable. And the wildest part, this book was written in 1847. Think about that. Someone wrote these words, this story, nearly 180 years ago, in a completely different world, in completely different life situations, and yet the words she penned down still hit so hard today. Her words, her story is still so relevant and relatable to us. That's the power of stories, of writing, of literature. It transcends time and generations. Something created nearly 2 centuries ago can still make us feel heartbreak, loneliness, and obsession. Emotions that are universal and timeless. It makes you realize how deeply stories connect people across time. So when you're reading Wuthering Heights, you're not just reading about characters on a page. You're literally connecting to the heart, mind, and soul of someone who lived nearly 200 years ago.